Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing a new knife. This is the Kershaw OD-2, model number 1770. This is the smaller brother to the OD-1. The only real difference between size, this being the smaller version, this is also a liner lock, whereas the OD-1 is a frame lock. It is a small knife. I'll give you specs in just a second here. But this is a flipper knife. On the back you can notice there's no thumb studs or opening holes or anything on the blade. Very slim little sleek design. There's a flipper on the back, which is basically, it's a little plate and it has a nub on it so you have more to grip onto. But the plate grabs the back of the tang, okay, and as you rotate this downwards, it gets a hold of the blade and starts rotating that around the pivot. Okay, obviously you can open this nice and slowly, but the idea here is that you give it a quick little downward flick and it shoots the blade open. This is not speed assist by any means. This is a fully, manual knife. Just want to demonstrate that by showing you there's no tension on the blade, there's no springs or anything like that at all. It's just a mechanical arm that swings the blade out, okay, as you move it. So just want to make that clear. Sometimes when I flick knives open in videos, people think they're automatic, so that they're assisted, and it's just either, in this case it's design, in some cases it's just technique on how I'm flipping them open. But anyway, very small knife, as you can see in the hand here, both sides. Specs on this: the close length is 3 1/8 inches long. Overall is 5 1/4 inches long, and the blade here is a bead blasted 8CR13 MOV steel blade, and is 2 1/4 inches long. Kershaw does a lot of bead blasting on a lot of their different knives. Pros and cons: it makes a nice look. It's kind of a satiny type gray appearance. Bead blasting, oftentimes you have rusting issues, because when you bead blast steel, you're opening up the pores, and when you open up the pores, it's more susceptible to moisture and of course surface rust. So a lot of times people who say that they're Kershaw knives, they get the little speckling. It's not a big deal. Wipe it down with some oil. Some basic knife care will go a very far way with these knives. It's nothing to really worry about. Bead blasting is a very simple way to give a finished look to the steel without having to polish it or go through any kind of other process. So it's pretty common and used in a lot of different knives. If I come in close here on the blade, you can see, of course, it's marked with the steel. Again, 8CR13 MOV, and this is a Lee Williams design. And of course you have the patent number, or just patent pending, on top for this mechanism, and of course the model number. What's cool about Kershaw is that they usually give the knife a name as well as give you a model number, so it's a quick reference. I mean, if you Google OD-2, you're going to get a lot of different websites and stuff, but if you type in 1770, Kershaw 1770, it's just a little bit more specific, so it's a reference for catalogs and such. But anyway, it's a neat little knife. There's definitely some things I don't like about it, but first let me give you the weight, because that's more for the specs. It's 1.4 ounces. Which is very light, but honestly for the size, it could actually even be lighter. It's not an issue though. Less than 2 ounces, it's nothing. It really will disappear in your pocket. Now the handle scales here, I've heard people call them G10. It's a glass reinforced nylon, which is basically Zytel, although Zytel is a specific name for that material, which I believe is patented by a specific company. I'm not going to go into detail, but it's basically Zytel. All the synthetics, really, they don't matter too much. It's the specific texture, but some people have a preference for, say, G10 or Zytel, one or the other, because generally speaking, you get a consistent texture from it. G10 oftentimes is more grippy than Zytel. If we look at the pattern here on the handle, you can see it is textured, but it's such a fine texturing on here that it doesn't offer a whole lot in the grip department. So really not a huge issue there. All the hardware on here is black to kind of blend in and look nice for you. And I'm going to take this off camera for a second so I can see this myself. And yes, these are Torx screws. So you need a Torx driver to take this knife apart if you choose to do so. I have not taken this knife apart. I'm sure this mechanism here, might be somewhat difficult to reassemble. It's not just like, a very straightforward design, but as long as you line everything up and you put it back together as you took it apart, you'll be just fine. As far as flipping the knife out and actually using it, It's not hard at all to do. I do find that with the pocket clip on here and being such a small knife, it's very clumsy. I don't really know how to grip it comfortably. A lot of people use their pointer finger to flip knives, but I've seen a lot of people with this specific knife using their thumb on the side. Alright, it doesn't really matter, it's preference either way. Both is going to get the blade out. Whatever's more comfortable for you will work. But I found that because of the smaller size, it's not super comfortable. I mean, like I said, I find myself adjusting a lot in my fingers. I'm constantly doing this when, you know, try to get a nice grip on it. This pocket clip really does get in the way because you have such a slender, small knife. So I don't like that. That's a huge negative for me. I don't like fumbling around with my knives, you know. I like just grabbing them and going. The other thing, besides actually fumbling with it to get it open, is again fumbling with it a little bit just to close it. You know, just the overall size and the design makes it a little bit more difficult to use. So it's not really super user-friendly in my opinion. Pocket clip you can see here is reversible to left or right hand carry, but it is not swappable for a tip down carry. It's only a tip up knife. I don't like the pocket clip on it. I actually did carry this clip to my pocket, and I only carried it for one day. The reason being is that when it was clipped to my pocket in this exact position, because of this nub that's sticking out here, I went in my pocket to actually grab my trolley changer because I was buying something at the store, and as I'm reaching in my pocket, this nub totally scraped. Let me give you a different view here. I'm reaching into my pocket like this to get my other stuff, and it just totally scraped the side of my hand all the way up my arm like that. So I didn't like that right away. I'm like, you know, I just kind of jerked back out of a natural reaction to it, and I thought, oh crap, and you know, it didn't cut me or anything, but it was pretty raw on my arm or my hand, so I didn't like that at all. Just general design, it doesn't make very user friendly again, so definitely a dislike for me. Besides that, you know, it's a cool, neat little knife. I'm not going to carry it ever again. I only carried it the one day. I just didn't like that whole thing. The experience was just crappy. So it's a cool little desk knife to me. You know, you leave it by your desk, by your computer. You need to open something, grab it real quick, flip it open, you know, and do your cutting. But other than that, I don't see a huge use for it. It is very affordable. 15 bucks is the average price. I mean, Amazon had it for like $12 and change. And of course, some places are going to be a little bit more expensive. But overall, it's a neat little knife. Just not my preference. I don't love it. I still think it's cool. This was a gift to me, so I will always have it. In fact, that's where it's been residing, is by my desk for just a quick, you know, grab and go knife. But that's pretty much it. It's extremely affordable. You know, if you want to give it a shot, I think that if I had the larger version, I might be more happy with it. Again, just not fumbling around as much using it. But you know, it's not a horrible knife by any means. It's just not my preference compared to the hundreds of other knives that are out there in the same size and price range. But it's still a neat little knife. So anyway, that's my review on the Kershaw OD-2. If you do like the knife, like I said, they're affordable enough to pick up and at least try. And if you don't like it, you know, you can always give it to a friend or just sell it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. As always, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for watching.